Oh, you wanna know who I am? Oh, you wanna know?
All right. Oh, what's up, guys? It's your boy B. And I'll just go ahead and, call out the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm not sitting at the breakfast table. I decided not to sit at the breakfast table. It's just what I do. I make these decisions and I roll with them. The other elephant in the room, yes, this is my son. He's not really asleep right now, but even if he were to fall asleep, he takes after his mother, so do not worry about me talking, making any noise, or the neighbors who are currently redoing construction on their driveway and their backyard, and my other neighbor who decided that today was the perfect day to edge his yard. He takes after his mom. She slept through every single fight scene in Pacific Rim in the home theater with the stereo on blast while T'Challa was doing his 500-mile relay. Yeah, the kid sleeps hard. I was really thinking about it, that there are a lot of things I wish I knew before I had a kid. Number one, if you're married, if you're, engaged, if you just have a boo thing that you have been with for a very long time and you're a guy, because this message and most of these messages are for the fathers out there, yeah, your wife is probably going to divorce you for your firstborn. Just gonna put that out there. I'm surprised I didn't get divorced for T'Challa, because he's hecka cute. You've seen the photos, you've seen the videos, but a baby, totally different. I think there are several moments since we've had him home that I've kind of literally shed a tear for some attention, tried to be an adult and do adult-like things. Yeah, it didn't happen. He's laughing at me. But yeah, just be ready for that, because babies take a lot of energy, they take a lot of time, and they're just so freaking cute that your wife is just gonna be like, you know what? That thing that walks around the house that smells and is hairy and, leaves the kitchen in a mess and always tracks dirt in the house and is always playing in the dirt in the yard. And no, I'm not talking about your dog. They're talking about you. Or in my case, I'm talking about me. Yeah. You get pushed to the side. So just take it on the chin, go to your man cave or your man space anywhere in your house and, start a hobby. Start doing something to fill the time, because she'll come back after she realizes that baby talk is not an actual language and that you can't do it forever. Yeah, she'll be back and then you'll be there to rule the day. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that day. Another thing I wish I knew, not all baby formula is the same. And so Tiffany is breastfeeding, she is pumping, the house smells like titty milk all the time. It's the choice that we chose to make. However, we found out very soon, especially after he was born in the NICU, that because he's a preemie, we have to supplement his breast milk with baby formula. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was something we had to do. I thought by breastfeeding we would be, safe from ever having to buy formula, especially with all the recent recalls and all of the crazy scare tactics and stuff that they have all over the internet about baby formula. We thought we were really going to be safe from that. The mindset before any of this was baby formulas are all the same. They have different brands on the shelf, they have different names on those different brands on the shelf, but it's just, we were told by many people, even doctors, that this stuff is just like Burger King or McDonald's. I don't know if they've actually eaten Burger King or McDonald's, because we had Burger King last night and it definitely didn't taste anything like McDonald's. But aside from that, one of the things we were told to give was Similac, Neosure. Also, if you've watched any of our videos and you're not subscribed to the channel, you're basically telling my son that you don't like us. And so that it's kind of insulting, and I'm really one of those fathers that don't appreciate anybody insulting my son or me. So go down and, hit that subscribe button. The least you could do. Anyway, yeah, we were told to use Similac. Now we're on Enfamil. If you read the packaging on the cans and on the boxes, most of the ingredients are the same, but there are several differences, and there are several different ingredients that they put into these different formulas. Just like how you have different hair care products, dish soap, diet, diet shakes and stuff like that. Not to compare a diet shake with cleaning products. What up? But he's still on breast milk, and breast milk 100% is the best thing you can give your kid. All right, now in the process of putting Takai down and warming up this thing, had to do dishes and splash myself with water, so wardrobe change. Other than that, oh yeah, and T'Challa came downstairs. So you'll probably hear a bunch of roughing around and some whining, because when he gets downstairs, that's just what he likes to do. I don't understand it. So one of the things that eating reminds me of, I wish I knew before I had kids, was babies' eating patterns. So I always knew or was aware of the whole feed on demand. You're supposed to, especially when your kid is home, feed your baby on demand. Basically, when they get to crying, they get to calling for food, and you'll learn that cry very soon. Yeah, that's when you feed your kid. I had no idea that meant your baby is going to cry every 2 to 3 hours. And sometimes they're gonna do what I call go into super feeder mode. That's when they want to be fed the same, if not more, amount that you normally feed them every single hour. Usually, some people say that's called a growth spurt. I hadn't really seen my child grow in the time of that crying. They just seem like they're just extra greedy, but they say that's what that is. So make sure you have your bottles ready. Make sure you have some formula mixed up. At the NICU, they gave us a mix rate of breast milk to formula of what we're supposed to be feeding Takai. And so far, we've been able to keep that in the fridge for the most part. But, and I'll explain this a little more depth in later videos, Takai's eating habits and the way his body is reacting to some of the formulas is very different. And so we've actually gone to trying to have more breast milk available, which of course is a little bit more tasking on Tiffany. So either way, it's still good to have some formula bottles either already made up. They last 24 hours. Like I said, he's gonna start crying. Come here. Come here. Put one baby down. I guess I gotta pick up the other one. So anyway, let's move this out of the way so he doesn't think that's for him. And sorry if this is antagonizing anybody. So it's good to have some bottles already made up in the refrigerator, because one, they last 24 hours. So if you wake up at 8 a.m. and you decide to just make a whole bunch of bottles for the day, you have until 8 a.m. the next day to feed your child all of those bottles. And believe me, they will feed and eat all of them. You're not gonna waste anything. They want all of it. That's a helpful tip also. Do that. That way you're always prepared for those extra one in the feed mode moments, and you'll be okay. Just remember, every 2 to 3 hours, be prepared. They're gonna cry. They're gonna want food. Just that simple. Which leads me into my next topic. If they're crying, that means they're awake. These babies, their sleeping patterns are completely different. this guy, we've actually finally gotten his sleeping under control. And yeah, I am gonna wake him up because it's time for him to eat again. And T'Challa wants to play. When Takai came home, as most newborn infants, they sleep a lot. And he slept really for the majority of the day most of the time, except just to wake up to, just to feed every 2 to 3 hours. But for the most part, he sleeps. So knowing your baby's sleeping pattern is going to be one way to really get them to understand what's going on. It's one way to get you to understand what's going on, because you can't change their sleeping pattern. That's just what it is. Your newborn is going to sleep, eat, poop, and cry for no apparent reason. And then they're going to repeat that all over again. In Takai's situation, every 2 to 3 hours, we can expect crying, which pretty much just lets us know he's hungry. Then after we feed him, we can expect sleep. And then after that point, we can expect really more sleep, because that's just what he does. Unless it is time for him to feed again, then he goes back to crying again. Notice I didn't say poop, because one thing that was a very big astonishment to me, this is kind of a bonus tip, so they're not gonna poop as often as they did in the hospital. So if you had a baby that was in the NICU, or if you had a baby and you just stayed in the hospital for any period of time and you notice that your baby was pooping frequently, it's gonna slow down. Do not be alarmed unless it's like longer than a week, then in which case you might want to start looking into the formulas that you're giving them or contact your doctor. They're probably gonna say it's normal, but as a new parent, speaking to possibly other new parents, if your baby hadn't pooped in a week, like 7 days, you definitely go ask somebody, a medical professional, if you should be concerned, and if they're even concerned. Hopefully you have a good doctor. T'Challa. No, we can't play right now, sir. We'll play later. We're gonna play a whole lot later. You don't play fair. He does not play fair. Like, he's gonna hold that up. He's gonna hold this in his mouth, and then when you try to take it from him, he's just gonna growl, and he's not gonna let you have it. It just makes no sense. Just remember, sleeping patterns are different. Each baby, it's different, but most of the time, after you feed them, after you burp them, they're gonna pass out until whatever it is that wakes them up. Usually it's gonna be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. In this guy's circumstance, he's now sleeping every 3 to 4 hours and waking up to feed every 3 to 4 hours. We're really happy about that. Now, this lovely spot is where you're gonna be spending a majority of your time, the changing table. This is what I'm saying. You see that? He's gonna keep it in his mouth. He wants you to play tug with that. He has 4 million tug toys, but he wants to play tug with the smallest thing. I was hoping everyone flew into the closet. You're gonna be spending a lot of time here changing diapers. So one thing I really wish I'd known before having a kid was exactly how important it is to have everything you need to change your baby's diaper, keep them smelling fresh, and keep any medical conditions from occurring with your child. having a nice cushioned surface for your baby. That's one thing that's gonna help. Having your baby on a hard surface like wood or something is not gonna be comfortable to the baby, not to mention it's gonna be cold. Having this though in the master bedroom and having one in his nursery, that's another plus because you're gonna be moving your baby around. Really having a nursery for the first couple of weeks of having a baby, it's good to have one. Don't get me wrong, it's good to have a nursery. You're not gonna use it though. Other than to change your baby and to keep all their clothes and everything, you're not gonna use your nursery. Nurseries really get utilized more when your baby gets a lot older. Maybe not a lot older, but a little, a few months older. He'll be transitioning to the nursery hopefully within a few weeks. Probably not. Good to have this thing. Make sure you have all of your wipes. We have this nice little wipe warmer. Make sure you have a plethora of diapers in a nice spot, easy to reach, because your baby's gonna be up here. You're gonna have to reach down to get the diapers unless you have them like on a dresser somewhere else or like in the nursery. They're off to the side. Make sure they're easy to reach because one, if you have a boy, when that cold air hits him for the first time after you take that diaper off, there's a geyser effect. If you don't know what I mean, just wait, you'll experience it. It's a treat. It's a child move from over. Why? Why are you trying to go under the bed? Your toy is in your mouth. Such a weird dog. You're cute though, but you're very weird. This tip was not necessarily about the best, the changing table. One thing that I wish I knew before I had kids, poop color. Yeah, I said it, poop color. Your baby's poop is not gonna be like yours. It's not gonna be like anything you've ever seen before. Well, you've probably seen some things like it, but it's not going to be reminiscent of poop at all. Sometimes it's like so dark green, it's almost black. It's not formed. It's not liquid. It's, I hate to say, it's almost like plasma or mud or oil. Yeah, mostly like oil, but it doesn't have the consistency of oil. It's just, I'm getting grossed out even thinking about it. We'll see where it goes from there. On to the next point. Okay, so I don't know if it's like this for every hospital, but while you're in the hospital, or hopefully soon after you're discharged, you're going to get this huge packet that's going to be asking for every bit of information about your life. No, it is not an essay. The city or the state did not decide that they wanted to do an autobiography on you. No. This is the birth certificate paperwork for your child. That packet was enormous. It took a couple of hours to fill out all of the paperwork, all of the different sections for the birth certificate for our child. You're gonna have to do it. You're just gonna have to do it. There's no way around it. You have to let the world know, basically, that you have a kid, or you have to let your government know that you just had a kid. Otherwise, you don't get tax write-offs. So that's one thing to think about. That's one thing that I didn't know that you actually had to do in the hospital. I didn't know that was how that happened. I thought once you go to the hospital, you have a baby, they type it in the system, hey, this person just had a baby. A couple weeks later in the mail, you get a birth certificate. That's literally how I thought that happened, but no, you actually have to fill the paperwork out yourself. And if you want copies, you actually have to pay for that yourself. Who'd have known that? Everything that's in the nursery, or are you spending a whole lot of time putting your nursery together before your baby comes home, you're kind of wasting your time. Yeah, I said it. You're wasting your time. Dads out there, your wife, your girlfriend, baby mama, she's going to go bonkers and want you to have everything in their room. She's gonna want the walls painted, stickers all over the place, decorations, a crib to be set up, curtains to be up, blinds to be up, closet to be everything where it's supposed to be. All your clothes are supposed to be and color coordinated and going by age. Yeah, they're gonna want all of that. It's just one of the things that comes with the territory of, you know, having a kid. Sadly to say, not really necessary. I know there's gonna be a lot of hate in the comments for that one. Keep commenting though, I love it. Hit that subscribe button. The nursery is not really needed the first couple of months that your baby's in this world, because one, if they're like our son, they spent the first month in the NICU, they're not in the nursery. Then when he got home, he's in a bassinet that is either by your bed in the master bedroom, not in the nursery, or if you're like my wife, who is more comfortable sleeping on the couch because she doesn't like the way the mattress feels, the bassinet is by the couch. So it's not in the nursery. We have, since we've been home, we've spent maybe a total of a day in the nursery. I put Takai down in his crib. I think he lasted maybe about 20 minutes before he started crying and, you know, completely losing his shit. Yeah, the nursery is just, it's needed. Don't get me wrong, it's needed. It's not needed for the first couple of months of your baby's life. So if you haven't gotten the nursery together and your baby's already home, don't worry. It's something you need to get completed, but you're not really going to utilize it that much, unless that is, like I said, that's the only place that you have the changing table. But you'll quickly learn that the changing table becomes any firm surface anywhere in your house that you can cover with a sanitary cloth and change your baby's diaper so that you can lay the baby back down and go back to sleep. Yeah, that's just how it is. Another thing I wish I knew before having a kid, not all pediatricians are the same. They all don't have the same experience. One thing I knew before I had kids, which this actually benefited me in the beginning because I worked in the ER, do not take your kids to an ER. Do not take them to an emergency room that is designated or not even designated. If you see a bunch of adults going into that ER, unless you have no other choice, do not take your child to the ER. Find a children's hospital. If it's an emergency, a true emergency, and I don't just mean your baby's like sniffling, they're having a hard time getting air through their nose because it's just like covering a snot, that's not an emergency. Go get you one of those little bulb things, stick it up their nose, squeegee all the snot out, go on about your day, wait till the doctor's appointment. Other than that, if it's a true emergency, then go to the ER. Other than that, find a children's hospital. Make sure you have the strength to put your baby down. Emotional strain that babies put on families is real. When babies start crying, they go through that what has been coined the purple period crying. If they start doing that, the frustration can be seen on the parent's face. And there's so many different issues that arise just from the crying, just from the task of taking care of a newborn in an environment or in a home that never had children in it. So I've had a lot of experience with newborns and with kids, but having one of my own in my house has definitely been a learning curve, mostly on the relationship that me and my wife have. So even though this happens multiple times during the week, I have set aside time on Sunday, always on Sunday, to have what I call family time. Most of the time it is going to involve your kid because your kid's gonna be awake. You can't just say, okay, on Sunday, I'm just gonna like push him off into a corner and just be with my wife all day. No, the whole family's together, but the major aspect of you guys being together is that you both are focused on the emotional attachment of each other. Your emotional attachment to your wife, your emotional attachment to your kid, your wife's same thing. Your kid may have an emotional attachment to you. He may not. He may just look at you and just be like, you know what, you're the thing that feeds me, and right now that's as much as you're good for. So I'm gonna start crying, and I'm gonna poop in your hand because it's time for you to feed me. That's their version of love right now. I hope this was helpful to you guys. Please hit that like button if this was helpful, if you liked the video. Hit that subscribe button for more videos coming out about being a first-time father, being first-time parents, because I won't be the only person doing these videos. Tiffany will be doing them also. There'll be plenty of helpful tips and also plenty of, different life-saving, well, I should say brain-saving products that you guys can purchase down in the description. We do get a small kickback from you guys clicking and purchasing those items, but if you find something else that is similar to what we have or what we're describing, please go get the cheaper option. In this day and time, especially with gas prices being $50 a gallon, we all need to save some money. So, if you don't use our links, that's fine. I'm not going to be offended. Save yourself some money. You got baby formula to buy. It was a joy. Love you guys. Love your family. We got a baby. I'm a dad. Yeah, let's get back upstairs and tend to my family. Deuces.